Heyo. Um, it feels really weird for me to ask you guys to share this information with me and not also tell you about myself. That's never really sat well with me. I'm not Professor Stonewall, who, like, you're not going to learn anything about. You're probably going to learn a weird amount about me as our semester goes on. So, anyway, I am your instructor, Scott White. Hi. Nice to meet you. Um, Unsurprisingly, I was an English major whenever I went to school. Didn't start out as an English major. I actually went to school originally for physics, and then I found out that I am just so unbelievably bad at calculus that I had to shift very, very quickly. Didn't take calculus in high school because I hated the person who taught calculus. I went to a small high school, so I had one option. Got to college, loved the guy who taught it. Just the material didn't make sense to me. So I figured, hey, I speak English. And I spent most of my math classes in high school reading anyway. So it made a certain amount of sense. Um, that was up at Truman State University. Go Bulldogs. Um, Mizzou was our biggest rival. Mizzou didn't know that, but they were. Um, so yeah, I was an English major. My diploma actually said, uh, pretty sure it said world literature on it. Um, that was just because they made me put something down. I had the classes to declare um, linguistics or British literature or American literature, basically anything that wasn't creative writing that's covered in an English program. I could have picked any of them because I had all of the electives. Um, I was also very close to declaring a minor in cognitive science and theater and folklore. I was like one class shy on each of those, but I hated the last class, so I didn't do it. Um, Went to grad school a couple of years later out in Utah, Utah State University. That's the Aggies, not the Utes. For those of you who follow football, then we were the basketball team, not the football team. We got creamed in football just constantly. Um, Again, in an English program, specifically American Studies, which meant that I looked at pop culture and music and movies and literature and things like that very particularly. It was a folklore degree, which is a subset of American Studies that just happened to be housed in the English department out there. So I am one of our nation's preeminent scholars on stories about disability in urban legends, particularly severed hands, people getting their fingers cut off or their arms torn off or things like that. Um, so that's kind of my background. Since then, I've been teaching composition for the Lindenwood system since 2014. Yeah, 2014. I started over in Belleville and then I moved over here to St. Charles um, after the Belleville campus announced that they were shutting down. Um, I've also been teaching online for a school out in Utah since then called Snow College. Um, and in the past few years, then I've also started teaching at Rankin Technical College over in St. Louis. I teach exclusively online for Rankin and for Snow, but I do teach some face to face here at Lindenwood. Um, so yeah, I do a lot of online hybrid coursework. I really enjoy doing it just because of the asynchronous nature. It plays very well with the way that my brain works, which is very, very scattered. Um, I can sit down and do a week's worth of work in 2 hours, actually pursuing an ADHD diagnosis right now. Um, so that works really well for me, just lets me pop stuff in as it happens to fit into my schedule. Um, I've got two kids. I've got a kindergartner and one who's starting preschool um, this fall. Yeah, this next fall. Um, so it gives me a little bit more time to be around them whenever they're awake, and then I can do more work whenever they're asleep. I'm teaching this course because, one, I love world literature. Specifically, I love old world literature. That was always the stuff that has spoken to me the most. Um, I did a lot of work with like epics and plays whenever I was in undergrad. Like I said, could have declared a theater major if it weren't for needing one extra course. Um, my wife is actually a classicist, a medieval classicist. So she also did a lot of work with a lot of these things in college. So it's really fun getting the alternative perspective because she actually took, Greek and Latin and things like that. I took a little Latin, um, but it didn't really resonate with me the same way. So if you ever hear me dropping in terms in Greek or Latin, then it's probably because I was talking about something with her and she was just like, oh, yeah, this is the word for that. And then I just went off on a research tangent on my own. Um, anyway, getting back to the list, um, I really enjoy what I do. This is kind of my career goal. My favorite thing is working with students. I've had a couple of opportunities to switch over to one school full time, which I attempted. I was kind of glad that they didn't work out though, just because then I'd be working with fewer students every semester, and you guys are actually kind of what get me through the slog of everything else, and constantly having to update my course templates and use new syllabus templates and things like that. All the things that the administration thinks matter the most. Um, what keeps me sane is that I get to talk to you guys, and I get to teach you, and I get to see you learn, and I also get to learn from you because you're all bringing your own perspectives into this class. Whenever I'm not doing uh, this kind of stuff, which I'm doing 60 to 80 hours a week a lot of the time. Whenever I'm not doing this kind of stuff, I'm a runner. I'm not a competitive runner at all by any stretch of the imagination. Uh, my last 5K was 42 minutes, I think, just because since the pandemic started, I've not been running quite as much. Um, I do like to cook. I like to bake, soups, stews, things like that. I do a lot of traditional Mexican, classical Italian, classical French, lots of American, obviously, being an American. Um, stuff that my kids like to eat in the last couple of years. Then I've started to learn how to do a lot more Asian as well. I'm trying to get my dumpling and noodle game up to where I think it probably should be. Um, I personally am not actually a writer very much, just exclusively based on time. It takes the exact same kind of mental energy and uh, about as much time for me to grade things as it does for me to write things. So I do a lot of reading in my spare time. Whenever I do write, then I'm just a massively formulaic writer. Um, if any of you have taken my English 150 or 170 classes, then you know what's up. Um, I'm very much into the whole writing process. I hate outlining, but I do it. Um, yeah. Um, if there's ever anything going on this semester that you think I should know about, feel free to tell me. I'm not going to ask a whole lot of questions that are not related to our course content, but you're welcome to tell me whatever. If you just need to vent, if you need somebody to help, just let me know. I might not be able to help, but I can probably point you towards somebody who can. So, um, if you've ever got a question about why you got graded a certain way, or how to deal with a certain thing, or if, like me, your brain is burned out because of this panini, um, you're having trouble getting through some of the readings, let me know. I've got all the tips and tricks. I used them whenever I was your age, and I've started using them again now. Um, so I will be happy to help. So that's me. Um, let me know about you. Nobody else is going to see the video that you post here. It's literally only for me. I exclusively watch it with my headphones in. So my wife, even if she's in the room, won't hear anything that you say. So don't feel like anybody is going to be judging you except for me. I will be judging you, but not harshly. Just it's impossible to avoid forming values claims whenever you get more information about people. Anyway, Nice to meet you.